Yeah, this is JD79 here. I was going to be in the video here. Anyway, this is going to be a couple of things about the case, the trust, the and the class action suit waiver. Yeah, and we're going to be talking about my opt-out letter I talked about yesterday. I talked about Josh or Jack the Bomb, and what his name is, John here. The reason why I signed up for the letter here, because quite basically, you know, it said on I said on the page here, saying that in section 15 of the written letter to opt out of section 15, as part of my rights on page 17 of the Terms of Service Act, and I'm right now acting my purpose rights. Saying that you should do so within 30 days, and it does bill for the opt-out, and which you only have to do an opt-out with the letter, which I did. Hopefully, I will send a response from Sony confirming my opt-out plan of the letter. And this letter just means that, well, hey, look, if you break any laws or if any severe cases act up, I just cannot. How could we have this through arbitration if if it breaks the law? Now it's not going to happen immediately. I might just have to talk to Sony about it. If we're going to be having the data complaining about this here, but quite basically, we're going to have a question, Sony. Why are actually people suing you? How come you waited? Back in April, in April 21st, the internet with the cable thing was down here and says, right now we're having an investigation that's taking place here. It's an investigation. Well, yeah, if you want to be able to have an investigation to take place, yeah, 6 days later, that's when Sony then finally to do this after 6 days later that our data's been compromised. Oh yeah, it's like almost a week. And how could Sony waited for 6 or 7 days before data's compromised over here? Now that's not about 77 million people's accounts being swiped by some hackers and something like that. Yeah, the hacker should be punished, but the fact that Sony reluctantly that Sony was reluctant to sell it about this. Hey, if you were responsible for customer sensitive information, you should have notified this immediately. Says okay, blah 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 here. Okay, and then like this should have happened on April 21st. We have to shut down the PlayStation Network due to the fact that there is a potential break-in that involves your personal information. An investigation is going in your way. Your personal information may have risk. Please stand by. Just that statement, and then the fact that could have saved you from the company. And then there's a second place here. Has that information been encrypted in the first place? If it's not, then yeah, you should have encrypted you should have encrypted in this place here, in this place here, because a severe case like this here, and yes, encryptions can break all the time, but you have to. Encryptions do break all the time here, but even that, you should have notified PlayStation Network owners immediately, such as case of appeared, and then like this, if it's happened, if this happens again, now first of all, you should have kept the whole entire thing, not just a credit card, encrypted. your name, address, or anything like that here, and it should be only visible towards the customer who provided you the information online. This is the customers you sign up online here, like your name, address, and like anything like this when you're signing up for the PlayStation Network here. And that's what the case is. It's a severe case in a sense that here was negligence about the data theft about this one. That's just real things here. And that's what I'm talking about. If this ever happens again, I hate to join a class action suit, but I have to. But in the same time, I have to protect myself from mediocre companies to do this. And at the same time, yeah, I don't want Sony to fail. I don't want Sony to like this. Video games are supposed to be my hobby, and companies like these, they need to be responsible for your consumers. Sony, you got to start protecting your customers, because if you treat your customers like dog shite, this is going to happen. Customers are going to start throwing pitchforks because, if you start bringing, this is what, you yell light of death. You got to start doing this. Your image, I'm going to have to say this, your image is real bad right now. Many people are burned. It still really is fresh out of my mind, and how Sony handled the data crisis back in April. Companies like these, you have to encrypt and protect sensitive information in a private way, and confidential documents and like this. You got to protect them. You have to be very well in encrypting your data, and join in a you got to encrypt the data and protect it. And plus, if your data is indeed breached, you have to notify your customers. There's been a breach. There's been a hey, look, Sony. These lawsuits would have happened here. I will not class action sue or anything if say, okay, my data is breached again, but this time Sony has immediately notified me that the network's down, your class action status may have breached here, and may breached there. We're going to do an investigation. If there's anything happened to you, like I'm doing this over here, that's that could be an acceptable outcome right there. But the fact that you've waited for a week, and that they're doing this right here. What could happen? 6 days to know about this. 6 days about this towards to do it. You should have said. When you close the network down, the top of your mind should have come towards sensitive information, consumers' data. That's what you should have been. And did I sue? No, I didn't. I don't like lawsuits or anything, but this is what I have to say. You just have to obey a lawful act, and I will agree. And if it's like a mild case, I will do this arbitrarily or like this, and sign up for other means here. But I have to. I do justify class action lawsuits on severe cases like negligence when it comes to sensitive information being stolen. And that's I'm going to have to draw the line over here. And EA's, I'm not sure if it's all lawsuits or class action suits. I'm not sure. But in EA's case, you can't. I don't see if you can sign up for a class action, opt out of the class action waiver. But I think big corporations, if you want to have more money, if you want to be that greedy about money, you can't dig out from customers and unfairly to create money. You have to start serving your customers. I mean, your customers, if you're lifelong of your money, and you gotta do work, and you gotta do your good work towards your customers to serve them well, to give them big corporations money. And I mean, people like to go to college and like this, and decide to do this, and start a company that, you know, cares for your customers. I mean, like I can sell CDs. To me, I sell a game to a consumer, and consumers do have a right to, you know, do stuff here. And, you know, and used games do have a place in the market. Like, yeah, for instance, stores need money to operate, and they can do the used game sales for them to, they can make money for used game sales to operate, and like this. And also, it gives customers the incentive, customers the rights to trade in their games for some credit towards the new games. I mean, used game sales actually stimulates the desire to buy a new game, and that's where we have to draw the line. Now, of course, you know, developers get more for new games than the used games. But, you know, if you want to have that, I mean, why not give them the incentive for rewarding the customers for buying a new games? But don't punish the customers for buying a used games. It doesn't work that way. I mean, well, like I say, I mean, consumers value these new games and like this, but if you like, I mean, that's you know what I have to say over here. Now, we're gonna have to go to this AT&T case over here about the class action waivers. I don't know about the details of it here, but there are, you know, some sort of stuff where you have to actually waive class action suits here, and the fact, I mean, the true fact about, I mean, I think what the law will be coming up towards later on is that when it comes to class action lawsuits and stuff, there are some stupid lawsuits saying, "Oh, let's class action sue." One person's got the yellow light of death as of yet. That's where I feel that they're going to be acceptable over here. But if there's any severe cases and stuff here, that's where class action suits, I justify these class action suits of them, you know, damaging like this. Like in that case, and where they were negligent and 80 million people sensitive data. I mean, that's severe, because in that case, criminals can take a hand on the data, and they can actually use it to actually destroy in your government's reputation. They can actually use that stolen identity and make you make an innocent person a criminal towards the system. And people can manipulate the crimes, can do that by getting someone else's in punishment. I mean, that's what I have to talk to the case. That's what I'm talking about here. That's how severe this case is. That means that criminals, 7 days, like this, 6 or 7 days, a gap between when the ID, given the take that the ID wasn't encrypted in the first place, towards that person when I was notified about this here, that's a pretty good ample amount of time for thieves to get your information to commit a crime and then pass the punishment on to an innocent person. That's how much damage this could cause. And I mean, that's what I have to say about this. I mean, my thing is that companies, big corporations, no matter how big they are, they've got to start treating your customers well. I mean, you got to compete. I mean, this is the world is here today. You got to compete in a fair manner. You got to treat your customers in a fair manner. That's how. If you want money, if you want to have more money and stuff like that, you got to treat your customers in a fair manner. I mean, you got to treat your customers well. You got to care for your customers. That's how industries like this. 10 years ago, video game industry made a lot of money back at that time. Because it was a great place to game, and game companies made good bucks about that place. I didn't see any complaint about used games at that place. 1980s, I mean, movie industries, I mean, they were making a very good amount of money because they cared for your customers. But my message to the company is this right now: if you don't treat your customers well, then they don't deserve. If you start stealing from your customers, I mean, they're going to start suing. They're going to start throwing pitchforks. I mean, they're going to be angry. I mean, that's all I have to say. I mean, if I was running a company, I would not give a waiver. I would give a waiver saying, please don't sue for stupid things. And yet, but the consumers could still have a right in severe cases that they can overturn the waiver in severe cases and can class action suit. I mean, that's what a responsible company is. I mean, you've got to be responsible for your customers. And there are some points where we can have some waivers where you're unexpected here. Now, when I go to Bobby's Ranch, I do sign a waiver. I mean, I'm not liable for the injuries that I cause because, I mean, those are points where I understand that when I ride a horse can spook and I fall off and I can fracture a bone. And, I mean, that's where I understand here. And I also understand that there are crooks out there that are clever crooks here. But I can waiver the lawsuit based in that area here, but I can't do it if the company is negligence about this here, and they got to follow. They got to do it fairly. I mean, they got to be responsible for your information, and of course there will be it will be swiped one day for your information. But if your information swiped, despite the fact that you did do protect your information, but if it's swiped, you got to notify your players. You got to notify your players immediately. That's why immediately, if this would have happened, far less class action suits would have been prevalent about this place. That's all I have to say. JD out.